Success to me is probably accomplishing something that you like to do or you are focused on.
Student success systems are a way for the school to work together to ensure their kids can be there every day, can focus in class, and can get their work done. In other words, succeed at school.
Like my mom always said, no one needs to know all of our business. I feel like that's an illusion because it's like a reference to like what their mom said.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we really created student success systems is just the sheer volume of kids that need support post-pandemic. Schools where it used to be that 50, 60 kids need support, now it's 300 kids. And that just overwhelms existing systems.
And so the question is, how do you create schools that are welcoming to all families with the reality of the disparities that we have?
We need a vehicle by which we can really diagnose problems, adapt to our changing environment, and just find what works quickly.
The scaling piece of this is that what we learned here won't stay here. It's like we're trying to get this to all of our schools.
We are very excited to start the partnership with District 3 and really look at how we can best support you using student success systems.
It's exciting to think about a more systematic approach to how those things go together, but of course it's also a challenge when we're in the midst of the work with real students and not just looking at the sort of philosophy behind it. So I guess it's both.
Honestly, I think this is perfectly timed. I think moving into a community like where we're going into Harlem, we're going in with a new high school in 2025, and the idea is to build the systems and structure so we can have a school for these young people with an international baccalaureate program, critical thinking, safe, warm, nurturing space where they can realize their potential.
This is a journey that we're all going on together, and what we have in the end is going to be something that is really beneficial to students and the district.
The four key strategies of student success systems are: building strong relationships throughout the school. Second, looking at holistic data that's actionable. 3, coming up with strategic actions to help as many kids as possible in the year. And 4, driven by a set of mindsets that both put the student at the center and says adults have agency to make things better for their kids.
The only way that I'm really going to know why a student is late or why a student is absent is by asking them and hoping that I have developed a relationship with that student so they can be honest with me about what's going on.
We went on a whole journey with student success. We actually started with this concept of pulling out kids in general and checking in with them every day. It was too much. Like we created a scaling problem, so we adjusted it and focused on a subgroup, ENL scholars. And we just learned so much about these kids.
I think it's helpful to other students because we get to talk about like how other students need help in the school and how we could form like a new system of the new students.
I think people have the biggest
counselors, like make them feel safe.
So student success systems definitely give you a better sense of how we can do whole child supports by making sure we're proactive and not reactive, by making sure that we're looking at multiple data points.
We successfully created data views that feel useful and informative.
That's 3 or 4 more minutes.
Perfect.
You guys have to start getting acclimated to the data so you can start connecting to the kids as you start looking at their scores.
At a student success team meeting, the teachers and the team are looking at the data and grouping students based on similar data points to see if there might be a root cause that is similar.
We kind of started last week with our success team, and some of the things that we really kind of honed in on is that there are some practices going on. We use the data tool that's online, and we started some guided inquiry, and in that guided inquiry we found out that we need better systems in place to collect data about what is working and what's not working.
So now how can we assess our students so we can look and see, okay, you've been in school for 6 weeks, here's a survey to see where they are. I need to know in the moment how students feel so we can be reflective and change practices if need be.
What I value in myself is to be like creative and to think of great ideas, and I'm really good at math.
You have the meeting, you come up with your grouping of students, you meet with the students, you co-create the plan, then you implement the plan.
So a design sprint is an opportunity to get ideas from a variety of stakeholders, sort of innovating ideas and then getting feedback, posing a question to a group, and then coming back to follow additional questions and additional questions, a quick way to get feedback and then ideas for future action.
How we support ENLs during classroom transition and what would they like for me to do. Like as an example, right?
Bueno, entonces vamos a leerlo todo juntos. Entonces, de pronto vamos a ayudar.
Because of the success we have experienced with our L population, being intentional, making sure that we're engaging them in surveys frequently and actually addressing the data, looking at the data, and what can we do to make sure that they feel included in our school population. What other group can we now impact?
What we learned this year is that we have to be thoughtful about data, have a holistic approach, use user-centered design to co-create opportunities for students with them, not to them.
I feel like some of the sports teams should hold tryouts, like the baseball team, it should hold tryouts a little earlier so that we can have more time to build teamwork.
We looked at student lateness and thinking about some of the reasons that students are late, but also some things that would motivate them to come on time. And so thinking about what ways we could foster a sense of belonging and other ways to encourage our students to come to school and to really feel part of something.
We had a couple of students who really explicitly said that feeling more of a connection to their classmates would be helpful, and suggested starting the morning in homeroom with a different question every day, more movement.
It takes a certain commitment and leadership and belief to give it a full try for it to work. But it doesn't necessarily take tons of new resources or tons of new time.
As we scale student success systems as a district, we need to make sure that we have additional schools that will benefit from what we've learned this year in the program.
We use this word success all the time. We want our children to be successful. What's success? Success looks different for everybody in all walks of life, and that's okay. We want you to realize your greatest potential. And for you, that's different. For me, that's different. We're gonna have different walks of life, but we want you to have whatever you chose, not because life sort of happened to you, but because you found your true inner self and were able to realize life. And hopefully through a program like this, we're able to collectively as adults create the environment where that realization can happen.